A man who cannot be broken. This is the main description of a Stoic, someone following the philosophy of Stoicism. Yeah, this word might be completely new to you, but trust me, at the end of this video you will possess a ton of information, critical process in which you can turn your entire life into a way calmer and more controllable flow, way less filled with anxiety and stress. So, what the fuck is Stoicism? And to somehow answer this question, we'll have to go way back in time to the period of ancient Greece. Started by a simple trader who lost everything he owned in a ship crash, however decided not to fall into depression, but to keep control over the situation. Stoicism later got picked up by most of the famous Greek philosophers. You cannot control everything that happens to you, however, you can control how everything that happens to you affects you. That is the main thesis of Stoicism, and it's basically everything you need to know about it for now. In simpler words, Stoicism is about maintaining control over a situation no matter what, and also capitalizing your failures, of course, if it is possible. Unfortunately, no matter how bad you want it, it's pretty much impossible to achieve a proper level of Stoicism overnight. So, of course, there are a couple steps leading to mastering the skill. And yeah, in today's video I'm gonna tell you, of course, about my experience of getting to the level that I am at now. Step number one, at least for me, is separating the more important problems from the less important ones. There are multiple ways of doing this, but to me the most efficient one is basically writing all of your current struggles out and then searching for a solve for every one of them. If you found a solution, just realize that absolutely nothing stops you from going and fixing that problem. But if there is nothing to do about the problem, there's basically no reason to worry too much about it, because it's out of your control to do anything, so just learn from it, capitalize it, and move on. Step number two is actually starting to reset your brain, and the absolute best way for that is actually just cutting off any reaction for negativity, and I basically mean the ultra reaction. An example of me is squash again. Literally anything I ever did, I have always been considered talented, and so am I in squash. However, the only thing that has been constantly slowing my progress down is emotions that have been leading to broken rackets and bans from trainings. So what I did, of course with the help of the coach, was trying to stop showing my emotions, even if everything was burning inside. Of course, it was hard for the beginning, and of course I cracked a couple times. However, just after 2 weeks of trying this, I showed absolutely zero emotions in the tournament and won the first place. So the result as of today is that my brain basically produces way less negative emotions, which allows me to focus a little more on the game. Yeah, this is a simple example of fake it until you make it, but here the fake part basically causes the make part. Step number three is actually maximizing your stoicism skill by just cutting out all the negativity from your life. And here what I mean by the negativity is the one that you bring to your own life by overacting or overthinking of anything, not the negative motivation or the sport anger. The thing that could also help you a lot here is meditation. 15 minutes in the morning, not being distracted by anything, is gonna be enough. So it's gonna train your ability to just ignore the outer factors, absolutely decapitating that are affecting you. Also, if you get to the very border of relapsing your stoicism streak, just execute one simple life hack. Breathe out as long as you can and count to 10. After that, it's gonna be way easier to take back the control over the situation. People want to be different, people want to be rich, people want to be successful. But in today's world, with today's level and variety of distracting factors, it becomes quite impossible without the skill of abstracting from all those factors and without the proper level of focus. And Stoicism, apart from saving your nerve cells and energy, also helps you with that, because the less things you focus on, the better the focus is. Another huge benefit, which is already mentioned, but let me once again bring it out, is saving your energy, because any negativity processing is exactly what your brain wastes the most physical and mental energy on. So when you cut those off, you can end up with up to 40 or even 50% more energy to close your goals. The other huge benefit here is actually becoming way more self-confident, because when you know that you're in control of everything about yourself, you're sure that even if something goes wrong, you're totally good with it, so you become totally unafraid of failure and other negative stuff. Here, I really have to say that we have to separate Stoicism from the positive thinking philosophy, because the second one is basically a scam, all holding you back, and yes, I'm gonna make a separate video on this one. So let's make it clear. Stoicism is all about smart analyzing your problems, basically abstracting from the negative sides of them. An example, let's use sport, where one guy, after losing, starts all overthinking about being 100% positive, which takes most of his energy. The second guy only thinks about the ways he can fix the problem without looking at the fact of the loss itself. First one is exactly an example of that positive thinking view of the situation, only designed to remain fucking ignorant. Second one is exactly that $1 million way of thinking that cuts off the negative part of the failure, only remaining your focus at the fact of fixing the problem and capitalizing it. Achieving Stoicism might not be an easy task at all. However, the key here, just like in basically everything in your life, is trust the process. Step by step, upgrading your reaction to everything happening to you, you can see the first result of mastering the skill pretty fast. However, here we also gotta understand that not everyone will, and not everyone needs to get to the 10 master level, because having emotions is a huge part of human nature. So taking just a couple of benefits of Stoicism and maximizing them so you can apply them in your everyday life is gonna be pretty much enough. The other thing that just must be mentioned is knowing your limits in Stoicism, just like in everyone else. And yeah, this one's kind of related to the previous one, blah blah blah. Going fully 10 in today's world is definitely not an option. So the main things that you have to actually pay your attention to the entire Stoicism philosophy are separating problems so you don't get too much distraction while solving them. Looking at your problems philosophically, which will help you take away the lessons that you have to learn. Capitalizing your failures instead of getting too anxious about them, so you not only don't lose your level, but also gain it. And the last but not least is the way you react to your failures and losses. Because the way you act is how your brain processes the information. If your reaction is appropriate, then your information processing will get to the proper level pretty soon, so you will learn, not break. The skill of Stoicism is that smart interpretation of that not giving a fuck, which is the topic that I've spoiled in one of the previous videos, which is exactly why this video has the title that it has. Remember to keep adequate limits in everything in your life, so you always find that golden middle point in your life, not falling to any of the sides. And that's where I'm leaving you, with the information that I gave you to think of, process, and execute. And it's gonna affect your life in the best possible way. Here I'm saying thank you all for watching and goodbye till the next video.